Start. Doctor checks one more time. He goes, there's nothing going on.
So before we continue, I have one question. This one was about to give birth, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and the reason why you wait so long for the abortion, is there a specific reason why, as a Satanist, you waited that long before?
They wanted it to be a late term abortion
And why?
because you're murdering a baby that would be viable on the outside if it came out. And you're killing more innocents.
So the principle is to try to do the most evil thing possible, and the worst thing is
Right.
that the baby is about to come out and you just kill it right there, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. So let's go back to the story. What happened? The lady wasn't dilated. She was cussing you out. What happened after?
Me and the doctor are involved in a conversation about when can I come back, because I can't come back till Friday, but I've got things scheduled up until then. What do you have scheduled? Can you get me another girl in here on Friday that would understand what's happening? And as we're having this discussion, we hear a baby cry. And we both look down, and the baby came out. And I think the doctor said, I'll be damned. And then we have an attorney and a social worker comes in, and the nurse stays and takes care of the baby, and they get the baby ready for adoption. And it was time for me to go. My job is over. I didn't get to kill a baby. So we went back, walked downstairs, got in the car, and drove away. Eventually, I'm back in the office, and the office is in downtown Chicago. And I asked my secretary to pull all. So she pulled all of mine and everybody, all the other eyewitnesses, so I can review everybody's and see what the common denominator is. So then I can tell the other eyewitnesses, hey, avoid this. So the only common denominator I could come up with was that when they failed, they were happening during regular business hours. So between like 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Okay.
Now, something else that was a common denominator, but I didn't pick up on it because everybody called it something different. Everybody was saying, and people were outside praying Jesus beads, worry beads, prayer ropes, prayer chains.
So every time there was a failed abortion, there were people outside the abortion clinic that were
praying rosaries. But no one used the word rosary. When I cranked the window open, they were saying Hail Marys from a rosary. I didn't know what a Hail Mary was. I didn't know what a rosary was. I grew up Baptist. We didn't pray rosary. So here it is that everybody where there's a failed abortion, people were outside praying on the rosaries.
Well, that's surprising and not surprising depending on what you believe. I am not surprised because I have seen things like this happen, but it's a reminder for any Christian that if you that and now they're trying to fight against it. I wanted to go to something else that you kind of touched, because at some point you realized that something was off. So when did you first start thinking about leaving Satanism?
And about 3 years into it, when I've done quite a few abortions at this point, and not as many as I was going to do, obviously, but because I'm averaging about one a month the entire time I was on Wizard. But 3 years in, you realize that when you get off one plane, you got to roll with more rock stars, and you don't have a choice. And you have to party with these people. And, at the end of 3 years, you realize that all your clothes smell like the candy store. So you burn your clothes and buy new clothes, and they smell like the candy store. You dump your girlfriend because she smells like the candy store. You get a new girlfriend, she smells like the candy store. No matter what you do, you can't escape the candy store. After 5 years, you realize that your boss cannot create any new scent.
Do that way.
Everybody knew who my family was. They knew where I was from. You know, they were trying to find me. And, you know, they never found because I never called them or did anything.
Well, let's talk about that part because that's really interesting. How were you able to escape the World Church of Satan and the Illuminati without being caught? What did you try, and how did you end up kind of like evading them for that long?
I had been a private investigator, and I learned I was never hired to find somebody and was unable to find them. Like, I had tons of tricks and, you know, just tricks of the trade, stuff you learn, you pick up along the way on how to find somebody. Everybody leaves a paper trail, regardless of whether you think you do or you don't. Everybody does. So when I left, I moved into, I ended up, well, I'm getting out of myself. First off, I pilfered money out of my own account because they watched my regular account and my $87 million account. I can't touch that account. And if I take any of that, I'm stealing. They can charge me with that. So out of my own account, every week, I mean, they knew that every week I took some money out of my account for like a candy bar at the grocery store. Yeah, I'd take $10 out. Well, now I started doing a couple of things at home. You know, stuff that I knew this is like a high-end item. So, I mean, it's worth $1,000. Let's say I spent, I sell it for $800 instead. People are going to jump at it. I'm going to get $800.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm doing things like that. Eventually, I had a decent amount of money, you know, just squirreled away. Didn't put it in the bank, kept it in cash in my house. And then we had anything you wanted to go do, there's a Satanist that does it. Like, I had a satanic doctor. So I made an appointment with the satanic doctor. And you jump up on the interstate and you get off on the last exit. And that takes you